Oh, hello there. Yes, well, being resolute in conference and the adman's expertise, the majority by their silence shall play for days like these. Yes, Billy Bragg talking about a very much older government than the one we currently have, although I am reminded in so many ways of all the problems there are with right-wing governments, and we seem to have one at the moment. Yeah, so today we're going to slag off the Labour Party. I don't really know what those centrists who asked me to hold my nose and vote Labour will be saying to me maybe in 6 months' time if this current problems that there are with the government continues. But today I'd like to sort of offer some observations about the psychology of the Labour Party and its leadership and the way that they do things, and the fact that they just can't seem to see what some of the problems are, which doesn't make me think that we're going to get any solutions to anything. Anyway, let's dive in, shall we? The first problem, effectively, which was very much on display at the weekend with the, my daughter wanted to go and see Taylor Swift, and anyway, it's within the rules. Now, whenever anybody has to resort to it's within the rules, they instantaneously sound like not very pleasant people. But it sounds like their chances are on the make. Now, the Labour Party could have avoided this by simply not taking Lord Ali's money. And I would have thought that somebody with Starmer and his wife would have suggested that might be an idea. But nobody did, because the aides around him think the same way that he does. And it's part of that legal mindset. Now, any of you who have spent, time with law students or solicitors or indeed lawyers will get to understand that they have a view of the rules, but they don't necessarily attach that to any particular morality. That sounds slightly odd, I know, but I've been in enough kind of tribunals and things like that to see the way that solicitors work, and they don't think that it's a personal thing if they say that you are a child rapist in a court or something similar. That it's in some way that you should come out and think that they're a bit horrible, because it's just the way it works. It's the legal thing. It's about winning, right? So if it's within the rules, then it's fine, no matter what the associated morality is. Except, of course, as we've seen this weekend, the optics of that don't work out in the slightest. And you would have thought, like I say, that just somebody would have sussed on that. But nope, because it's within the rules. Yeah, if you get a bunch of lawyers in a room, they would decide that it was okay to kill your mum and then be surprised that you got upset about it because it's within the rules. So that's it, and it's the perfect example of that is Keir Starmer. I'm surprised his dad as a toolmaker didn't tell him something else, but maybe his dad wasn't a toolmaker. So that's that basic psychology of it, and so many MPs in Parliament have that mindset. Really isn't very, very healthy, especially in public life. Moving on. The people at the top of the Labour Party who plotted for so long to gain power, your Luke Akehursts and your Wes Streetings et al., have basically managed to shrug off any notion of having a plan in power. Yeah, if you think about the manifesto that Keir Starmer was actually voted in on, I can remember it well because I remember the voting process shortly before I left the Labour Party. Anyway, he promised loads and loads of things. I think there were 9 pledges altogether, all of which he has ditched. So the Labour Party is no longer committed to any form of radical left-wing politics at all. At all. Okay, there will be some tinkering with employment law, there will be some tinkering with the education system, there will undoubtedly be some tinkering with the care and NHS to a certain extent. But basically, this lot, having committed themselves to not spending a penny, will not do so, and therefore nothing will be done. And again, having achieved power, you have to have some notion of what you're going to do with it. But of course, if you've managed to achieve power by having no notion of any policies, lest it frighten the Daily Mail, then that's what we're going to get. We will end up with nothing. Yes, the Labour right. were pledged themselves to do the one thing they've always wanted to do. And you can see it under Kinnock. Yeah, it was to get rid of the left wing, to turn themselves into the SDP, the original version, once and for all. And they're there now. So that's what you're going to get. Bland, technocratic, pretending it's Tony Blair and the 1990s all over again, except it's not the 1990s. The economic conditions are vastly different, and the demands being placed on government are vastly different as well. Just at a time when we have a vaguely left-of-centre party who could have brought in pretty much anything as a radical manifesto and would have become part of government, we don't get it. Now, you may say, oh, well, at least it's not Jeremy Corbyn, if you don't like Jeremy Corbyn's policies. OK, fine. But what Jeremy Corbyn did was he built the Labour Party into a mass membership party. Remember, the largest in Western Europe. Now, under Jeremy Corbyn, the coffers were overflowing with small-scale donations. That meant that the Labour Party wasn't beholden to anyone, not even the union paymasters. Hooray! But of course, in comes Mr. Legal Brain himself, who decides to purge the left, meaning that vast amounts of money flowed out of the Labour Party HQ into legal bills, millions and millions of pounds, utterly down the drain. So they're broke. So what do? They have to go cap in hand to big business, Lord Ali et al. And oddly, the moment you go there, you have sold your soul. Because that's when nothing will change. And that's when you just simply get a Tory-light view of the world. Now, they can promise they're not going to bring in austerity. They'll just call it something else. If you maintain this level of spending, it's just austerity. Anyway, I know quite a few of you who are less left-wing than me will disagree with that one, but it just looks appalling. And I'm sorry, I don't believe that this is going to get any better. Because I think the people at the top are just absolutely incapable of seeing that the light at the end of the tunnel is an oncoming train. Anyway, do have a lovely Tuesday. Enjoy.